Chapter 494. As a matter of fact, most of the martial emperors had the same thought as Yu Ming. They did not believe that Lu Ming had managed to kill a third-layer martial emperor realm cultivator not long after he had broken through to the martial emperor realm. After all, a third-layer martial emperor was much stronger than a first-layer martial emperor. They had come to befriend Lu Ming mainly because of Lu Ming's potential. They valued his future instead of his current strength. Now they finally realized that Lu Ming's strength had reached a terrifying level. Killing Yu Ming in just a few moves meant that he was the strongest person in the 36 kingdoms of the Cloud Emperor. The patriarch of the Great Sun Prefecture, in particular, began to tremble. Lu Ming's combat ability was beyond his imagination. If he wanted to kill him, he did not need one move. Half a move would be enough. Impressive, truly impressive. Seems like I'm getting old. The retired emperor of the Cloud Desolate Empire exclaimed as he collected his thoughts. That's right. The champion king is truly a rare genius. In the future, he will definitely become a famous powerhouse on the continent and his name will shake the world. Immediately, the dozen or so martial kings revealed smiles and flattered Lu Ming. Everyone else at the scene was dumbfounded. They realized that the martial emperors who used to be superior were now acting like ordinary people, flattering the stronger ones. Everyone, the problem has been solved. Please take a seat and continue drinking. Lu Ming waved his hand and said. After cultivating in the Earth Element Cave for more than 10 days, Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the mid-first layer martial emperor realm. His strength had improved once again. Lu Ming was not surprised that he was able to kill Yu Ming with the third step of the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps. Immediately, the banquet continued. However, everyone was in a different mood at the feast. The people of the Blazing Sun Empire were excited. With an expert like Lu Ming in charge, the Blazing Sun Empire would surely prosper. Meanwhile, the people of the other empires were having different thoughts. The feast lasted for 5 hours before it was announced that it was over. The crowd slowly dispersed. Lu Ming, Lu Yuntian, and Li Ping stayed in the imperial city for 2 days before returning to the Lu clan. On this day, Lu Ming sensed something and flew towards the Mystic Essence Sword sect. When Lu Ming arrived at the Mystic Essence Sword sect, the air above the sect was filled with the smell of blood. It was the blood cocoon formed by the golden-eyed blood zombie. It seemed that the evolution was complete. Wang! The blood cocoon trembled, and the surrounding blood qi was so dense that it could not be dispersed. After a long while, the blood qi gathered toward the blood cocoon and disappeared into it. Gotcha! Then the blood cocoon cracked open, and a muscular figure walked out from it. The golden-eyed blood zombie's body was covered in a blood-red mist, and its skin had turned pale gold. Moreover, the hair on its body and the fangs in its mouth had disappeared. It looked very similar to a normal person. A terrifying aura emanated from the golden-eyed blood zombie. This was the aura of a king. The golden-eyed blood zombie had successfully evolved into a true king, after absorbing the blood of 5 or 6 kings and hundreds of thousands of soldiers. Master! When the golden-eyed blood zombie saw Lu Ming, a trace of excitement flashed across its face. It bowed to Lu Ming. Golden-eyed, you can speak? Lu Ming was taken aback. Yes, I can speak as soon as I become a king. The golden-eyed blood zombie bowed. As expected, it said that once a monster reaches the king level, it can speak as well. It seems that the king level is indeed a hurdle. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He took out a set of clothes and tossed it to the golden-eyed blood zombie. Put these on. Yes, master. The golden-eyed blood zombie took the clothes and put them on. Golden-eyed, follow me back to the Lu family. From now on, you'll be responsible for the safety of my parents. Lu Ming ordered. Yes. The golden-eyed blood zombie bowed. Lu Ming was overjoyed that the golden-eyed blood zombie had become a king. Initially, he was worried about Lu Yuntian and Li Ping's safety. Now that the golden-eyed blood zombie had become a king, he felt more at ease with it protecting Lu Yuntian and Li Ping. In a flash, they headed back to the Lu family. Not long after, they arrived at the Lu family. When Lu Yuntian found out that the golden-eyed blood zombie had become a king, he was shocked at first. Then he was pleasantly surprised. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, 7 days had passed. In 7 days, the scars on Lu Yuntian's face had completely disappeared. Not a single trace was left behind. He had regained his former handsomeness and resembled Lu Ming by 60 to 70%. Lu Ming, Li Ping, and the rest were overjoyed. At this time, Lu Ming bade farewell to Lu Yuntian and Li Ping. It was time to return to the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. After Li Ping's reminder, Lu Ming soared into the sky and left in a flash. However, he did not head to the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace immediately. Instead, he went to the Cloud Wilderness Empire's imperial capital. This was because there was still one thing that had not been resolved. Although Lu Ming had killed Yu Ming in the King of Hell Manor, there were still some experts below. If Lu Ming left, there was no guarantee that these experts would harm Lu Ming's family. He had to deal with this scourge first. In the 36 countries of the Cloud Wilderness Empire, the one who understood the King of Hell Manor the most was undoubtedly the retired Emperor of the Cloud Wilderness Empire. Chapter 495. Then, the two of them continued to go deeper and more assassins from the King of Hell Mansion were killed. Lu Ming did not show any mercy. The hands of the assassins from the King of Hell Mansion were stained with blood. They were paid to kill and many innocent people had died in their hands. Every one of them deserved to be killed. In a short while, more than 100 people had died in their hands. Enemy attack! Enemy attack! Finally, someone discovered Lu Ming and the ruins. Horrified shouts could be heard in the underground cave. Boom! Boom! Since they had been discovered, there was no need for them to hide their auras. The two of them unleashed their full strength and killed their way in. No one could stop the two of them. He had to admit that the King of Hell Mansion was indeed very powerful. There were actually 6 Martial King Realm experts in this underground cave. However, the most powerful of the 6 Martial King Realm experts was only at the peak of LV2 Martial King Realm. They could not resist Lu Ming and Huang Su and were easily killed. There was a loud explosion in the underground cave, and it started to shake violently. Rumble! In the end, the entire underground cave collapsed. Swoosh! Swoosh! 2 figures rushed out from the bottom of the lake and stood in the air. They were Lu Ming and Huang Su. Below them, the lake water surged. As the underground cave collapsed, it formed a huge whirlpool. The lake water flowed down and flooded the underground cave. No one from the King of Hell Mansion escaped. Haha, great. Champion King, thanks to you, we can get rid of the tumor in the Cloud Emperor mountain range. Huang Su laughed heartily. Senior Huang, you are too polite. I just did it out of convenience. By the way, I will have to trouble you to take care of the remaining branches of the King of Hell Mansion. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, "Ha, no problem. Once I return, I will summon all the countries to kill the people from the King of Hell Mansion." Huang Su laughed. That's great. I will take my leave then. After saying that, Lu Ming turned into a ray of light and disappeared into the horizon. He is a genius. I wonder what heights he will reach in the future. I am looking forward to it. Huang Su muttered to himself as he looked in the direction Lu Ming had left. Lu Ming headed towards the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. The distance from the Cloud Emperor mountain range to the Myriad Star City was shorter. Lu Ming only spent 3 days to return to the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. Then, he reported his mission and returned to the Eastern Sky Courtyard. In a large hall of the Thunder Palace, the Thunder Palace Master's face was extremely gloomy as he sat on the highest chair. What's going on? It's been so long. Why aren't Chower and Chongkong back yet? Also, those 5 guys didn't send me any messages either. The Thunder Palace Master muttered, feeling a little anxious. It had been so long, but Cho Chongkong and Xue Chao still hadn't come back, which gave him a bad feeling. Could it be that Lu Ming really didn't die? That's impossible. According to Su Zhong and the others, Lu Ming should be dead for sure. Even if he didn't die, he would still die when he reached the Burning Sun Empire. But why aren't Chongkong and the others back yet? What happened? Damn it, I'm being watched closely by strange old Feng and the others. I can't even send people to get information. The Thunder Palace Master roared in his heart. When Su Zhong, Huang Jing, and the others returned to the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace, they immediately reported the matter of the Heavenly Corpse sect and the bald man attacking Lu Ming. This caused an uproar. Especially the Wind Palace Master, Fire Palace Master, and the others. They were furious, and they immediately suspected the Thunder Palace Master. However, the Thunder Palace Master naturally denied it. The other palace masters didn't have any evidence, so they couldn't do anything to the Thunder Palace Master. However, they sent people to keep an eye on the Thunder Palace Master to see what he would do. Therefore, during this period, the Thunder Palace Master didn't know what had happened in the Burning Sun Empire. He also didn't know that the people he sent had been killed by Lu Ming. Palace Master, Palace Master. At this moment, a young man hurriedly ran in. What's the matter? Speak. The Thunder Palace Master frowned. Palace Master, Lu Ming has returned. The young man shouted. What? Lu Ming didn't die? How is that possible? Are you sure you didn't see wrongly? Thunder Palace Master abruptly stood up from his chair, almost roaring out loud. It's true. I saw him submitting the mission with my own eyes. He has already returned to the East Sky Yard. The young man reported. Damn it. Why isn't that little bastard dead yet? How is that possible? The Thunder Palace Master roared. According to his plan, Lu Ming should be dead for sure. Even if he had escaped from the Heavenly Corpse sect, he would still die when he returned to the Burning Sun Empire. However, Lu Ming had returned alive. Could it be that someone is secretly helping him? It's possible, very possible. Those palace masters and the palace master might have sent people to help him secretly. That must be it. The Thunder Palace Master's eyes flickered. Lu Ming, that little bastard, can't be left alive. I must find a way to get rid of him. A cold killing intent flashed across the Thunder Palace Master's eyes. At this moment, his expression changed, and a voice transmission jade talisman appeared in his hand. He scanned it with his mind. At first he was slightly stunned, but then he was overjoyed. The Shang family actually sent people here at this time. Good. Doesn't Lu Ming have a grudge with Shang Wushuang? I can use this opportunity to provoke the Shang family, and use them to kill Lu Ming. The Thunder Palace Master was overjoyed. Go, welcome the Shang family. Then the Thunder Palace Master strode out. In the west of the Myriad Star City, 5 figures were heading towards the Myriad Star City. One of them was a white-haired burly old man, while the other 4 were young people. They were all in their 20s, and there were 3 men and 1 woman. The 4 of them had one thing in common, and that was a cold and arrogant expression. At this moment, 2 figures flew out from the Myriad Star City and greeted the 5 people. One of them was Shang Wushuang, and the other was the Thunder Palace Master. Ha, so it's Brother Sheng Yao. What brings Brother Sheng Yao to the east of the Tianxian domain? The Thunder Palace Master cupped his fists and laughed. Brother Zheng, I hope you've been well since we last met. I'm here for a small matter. The white-haired old man smiled. Shang Wushuang greets Elder Sheng Yao. Shang Wushuang stepped forward and bowed respectfully. Sheng Yao looked at Shang Wushuang, and his face turned cold. He nodded slightly in response. Shang Wushuang, I heard that you were badly beaten up by a divine guard from the same batch. Shang Wushuang, you're a disgrace to the Shang family. A young man from the Shang family mocked. That's right, Shang Wushuang. You're really a piece of trash. You were beaten up in the east of the Tianxian domain. If you return to the central region, you're worse than trash. Another young man sneered. Chapter 496. He was furious, but he dared not say anything. In the Shang family, he was just a side-branch disciple. The young men in front of him were direct disciples of the Shang family. They were much higher than him in terms of status and cultivation. He could not be compared to them at all. The Shang family was the oldest family in Tianxian domain. It was also one of the 2 strongest families of Emperor Heaven Divine Palace in Tianxian domain. One was the Shang family and the other was the Mu family. The Shang family was located in the central region of Tianxian domain. The central region was the most fertile and vast place in Tianxian domain. It was also the place with the richest spiritual qi. The central region of the Tianxian domain was 10 times the size of the eastern region. There were countless geniuses and monstrous geniuses. It was the core of Tianxian domain. The young men in front of him were direct disciples of the Shang family. Shang Wushuang could not afford to offend them. Shang Wushuang, don't worry. Although you're trash, you're still a member of the Shang family. Even if you're a dog of the Shang family, we'll make you pay 10 times the price. Don't worry, we'll avenge you. One of the young men smiled faintly. Sheng Wushuang's face darkened. What did they mean? Did they compare him to a dog? Lu Ming, it's all your fault. It's all your fault. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been humiliated like this. I won't let you off. Sheng Wushuang roared in his heart. He did not dare to offend the direct disciples of the Sheng family. He could only blame it on Lu Ming. Haha. Brother Sheng and the rest of you. Let's go in and have a chat. Temple Master Lei said with a smile. All right. Sheng Yao nodded. They immediately went into Temple Master Lei. Someone had already prepared spiritual tea and spiritual fruits. They took their seats. Brother Sheng, may I know why you're here? Perhaps I can be of some help. Temple Master Lei spoke first. I'm sorry, Brother Sheng. I've been asked by the young master of Star Palace to do something. Sheng Yao said. What? The young master of Star Palace? Hearing that, both the Thunder Hall Master and Sheng Wushuang's expressions changed greatly. Sheng Xingchen was the #1 genius of the younger generation of the Sheng family. Reaching Martial King at the age of 21, had shaken the entire Tianxian domain. In the eastern region of the Tianxian domain, what is it that has caught the young master's attention? Thunder Palace Master asked. It's not a big deal. Young Master Xingchen mainly wants to find someone, and then he wants us to bring this person to the central region. Holy Glory said. Looking for someone? Young Master of Stars, who are you looking for? Thunder Palace Master asked. We don't know either. Therefore, we still need the help of the Thunder Palace Master. Holy Glory said. I will do my best. I wonder if there are any clues? The Thunder Palace Master immediately looked like he was going all out. Brother Jing, you should know Palace Lord Mu's daughter, Miss Mulan's, right? Sheng Yao asked. Palace Master Lei's expression changed once again as he said, Palace Master Mu's daughter, young Lady Mulan's? Of course I know her. Moreover, I heard that young Lady Mulan's was engaged to young Master Xing Chan since she was young. The Palace Lord they were talking about was not the Palace Lord of the eastern region of the Tianxian domain, but the Palace Lord of the Emperor Sky Divine Palace's branches in the entire Tianxian domain. That's right. However, that girl Mulan's did not want to marry young Master Xing Chan. She even ran away from home and hid in a remote place like the Cloud Emperor mountain range. However, she actually went back some time ago. Young Master Xing Chan has already sent people to investigate. That girl Mulan's went back to ask for an invitation to the Emperor Sky Divine Guard selection on behalf of someone else. Young Master Xing Chan is looking for this person. The person that Mulan's asked for an invitation is from the Burning Sun Empire of the Cloud Emperor mountain range. I heard that he has already joined the Emperor Sky Divine Guards. Sheng Yao explained once more. Hearing this, Thunder Palace Master's face was filled with joy. Brother Sheng, I know this person. His name is Lu Ming. There were 2 Emperor Sky Divine Guards from the Burning Sun Empire. Qiu Chongkong was definitely not one of them. The only one left was Lu Ming. Lu Ming. Hearing this, Sheng Wushuang's expression changed drastically. What's wrong? Is this Lu Ming famous? A young man from the Sheng family asked. To be honest, this Lu Ming is an Eastern Sky Divine Guard from the Eastern Sky Divine Guard of the Tianxian domain. Moreover, he is the one who injured Sheng Wushuang. Thunder Palace Master explained. He was overjoyed. He was still thinking about how to use the Sheng family to get rid of Lu Ming. Now he realized that he did not need to do anything. The Sheng family would not let Lu Ming go. Lu Ming, let's see how you're going to die this time. Thunder Palace Master thought to himself coldly. So it's the same person. Haha, that's good. Saves us some trouble. Let me teach him a lesson. I'll destroy Lu Ming's cultivation and bring him back to the central region for young Master Xing Chan to deal with. A young man with dashing eyebrows laughed. Everyone, don't underestimate Lu Ming. His combat strength is terrifying. Not long ago, he defeated a genius who had just broken through to the Martial King realm as a half-step to Martial King realm. Thunder Palace Master said. Of course, he did not mention that the Martial King who was defeated was his disciple, as it would be too embarrassing. What? A half-emperor defeated a Martial King? Sheng Yao and the 4 geniuses of the Sheng family were astounded. How is this possible? How could a half-emperor defeat a real Martial King? The young man with dashing eyebrows could not believe it. It's true. Sheng Wushuang was there too. He saw it too. Thunder Palace Master said. That's right, it's true. Lu Ming's combat strength is terrifying. Sheng Wushuang said in a cold tone. A half-step king can actually defeat a king. Although he has just broken through to the king level, it is still incredible. Since that is the case, all the more we can't let him live. Shang Kong, Shang Wei. Both of you go and destroy Lu Ming's cultivation. Then, take him down and bring him back to the central region. Sheng Yao said. Don't worry, Elder. No matter how strong Lu Ming's combat strength is, he's only a half-emperor. I've already reached the early second-layer martial king realm, and Sheng Wei's cultivation has reached the peak second-layer martial king realm. Taking down Lu Ming will be a piece of cake, Shang Kong said confidently. Furthermore, they were all geniuses. Their combat strength was unmatched among their peers, and they could even fight those with higher cultivation levels. Lu Ming should be at the East Sky Courtyard. I'll bring you there, Sheng Wushuang immediately said. His heart trembled with excitement as soon as he imagined seeing Lu Ming being beaten like a dead dog. Lu Ming, you dared to injure me and take 30,000 peak spirit crystals from me. I'll make you pay 10 times the amount. Sheng Wushuang roared in his heart. He immediately brought Shang Kong and Sheng Wei to the East Sky Courtyard. As soon as Lu Ming returned to the East Sky Courtyard, he sat down cross-legged and thought about the direction of his cultivation. My thunder intent is progressing rapidly. It's almost at the middle stage of lesser success. However, my wind-fire intent is progressing too slowly. I need to speed it up. Chapter 497. It's still too slow for me to improve these two essences quickly, even in the Enlightenment Palace. Only ultimacy crystals can help me improve these two essences quickly. But it's not realistic to buy a large amount of ultimacy crystals. Let's go to the mystical treasure house later. Ultimacy crystals were consumables that had miraculous effects on the comprehension of essences. It was too difficult to buy them, because everyone needed them and they would not save up. Once they bought them, they would use them up. It might be possible to buy a small amount, but it would be difficult to buy a large amount. The supreme spiritual crystals I have now should be enough for me to break through to LV2 Martial King Realm. During this period of time, Lu Ming had obtained the storage ring of the bald burly man and the storage rings of the 6 kings, including Xue Chao, during the battle at the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. He had obtained a lot of supreme spiritual crystals. Now Lu Ming had another 150,000 supreme grade spirit crystals. The most important thing in the Martial King Realm was to comprehend the essences of heaven and earth. Only when the essences of heaven and earth had a breakthrough could one's cultivation break through. Once the essences of heaven and earth had a breakthrough, it would be much easier to improve one's cultivation. As long as one had enough resources and refined enough energy, they could break through their cultivation. Supreme spiritual crystals were undoubtedly the most suitable for this. Lu Ming had an advantage, which was the 9 Dragons bloodline. The speed at which he refined the supreme spiritual crystals was dozens or even hundreds of times faster than others. Now let's improve my cultivation first. Lu Ming's thunder essence had already reached the initial success of level 1 essence. In other words, as long as Lu Ming had enough resources, he could break through to LV4 Martial King Realm without any bottlenecks. Lu Ming waved his hands and 10,000 pieces of supreme-grade spirit crystals appeared. Explode! Lu Ming's genuine essence spread out, and the 10,000 supreme spiritual crystals exploded. The spiritual chi of heaven and earth in the courtyard was extremely dense. Devour! The 9 Dragons bloodline appeared and inhaled. The spiritual chi of heaven and earth was swallowed by the 9 Dragons bloodline like water. The 9 Dragons bloodline began to refine rapidly. Even supreme spiritual crystals had impurities and required time to refine. At most, one could refine a few dozen or 100 spiritual crystals. However, Lu Ming refined tens of thousands of supreme-grade spirit crystals at the same time at a terrifying speed. If others saw this, they would be scared to death. Huff huff. The 9 Dragons bloodline seemed to be breathing. With each breath, an incomparably pure energy would flow into Lu Ming's body, being absorbed by Lu Ming and transformed into true essence. Lu Ming's cultivation rose rapidly, approaching the late stage of LV1 Martial King Realm. Soon 10,000 supreme-grade spirit crystals were refined. Lu Ming took out another 10,000 supreme-grade spirit crystals and began to refine them. When Lu Ming refined 30,000 spirit crystals, Lu Ming's body shook and a dragon's roar could be heard. He had broken through to the late stage of Martial King realm. My God, it took me 30,000 top-grade spiritual crystals to reach the late stage of the first layer Martial Emperor realm, from the middle stage of the first layer Martial Emperor realm. That's too much of a consumption of top-grade spiritual crystals. I still have 120,000 top-grade spiritual crystals left. I guess I can only reach the early stage of the second layer Martial Emperor realm at most. Lu Ming was speechless at the consumption of spiritual crystals. This consumption was too terrifying. How could ordinary people afford it? It doesn't matter. No matter how much resources I consume, increasing my strength is the most important thing. Afterward, Lu Ming took out another 10,000 supreme-grade spirit crystals, exploded them, and began to devour and refine them. At this moment, Sheng Wushuang, Sheng Kong, and Sheng Wei arrived outside the East Sky Courtyard. Brothers, this is the East Sky Courtyard where Lu Ming lives. Lu Ming has just returned and should be inside. However, there is an inscription array outside the courtyard. Sheng Wushuang showed a flattering smile as he spoke to Sheng Kong and Sheng Wei. In the Sheng family, the difference between the status of a direct descendant and a branch descendant was too great. The Sheng family had been in the Tianqian domain for too long, and had countless branch descendants. Many of them were no different from servants. Although Sheng Wushuang was extremely talented, he was nothing in the eyes of the Sheng family's direct descendant. Sheng Kong nodded slightly and said, "So what if there is an inscription array? Just blast it out." Having said that, Sheng Kong thrust out his palm. Between heaven and earth, the spiritual qi of the earth gathered in a frenzy, forming a large yellow hand. The hand was the size of a small mountain as it directly slammed down on the East Sky Courtyard. Buzz! The East Sky Courtyard flickered with light as inscriptions appeared, forming a light screen. Boom! The yellow hand slammed into the light screen. Although it didn't shatter the light screen, it still caused the East Sky Courtyard to violently shake. At this moment, Lu Ming was in the middle of refining the spiritual qi of the spiritual crystals when the entire courtyard shook violently, as if it was about to explode. This was too sudden. Lu Ming was shocked. In his shock, the vital essence in his body involuntarily went on a rampage. Pff. Lu Ming's face turned red and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Damn it, who is it? How dare they attack the East Sky Courtyard? Lu Ming roared inwardly and then circulated the True Dragon battle art to stabilize his chaotic True Yuan. Outside, Sheng Kong's palm shook the entire mountain. One figure after another flew up into the sky. Who is it? How dare they attack the East Sky Courtyard? This is a violation of the rules. Look, that's Sheng Wushuang. Who is that person with him? The others burst into discussion. Who is it? How dare they attack the courtyard of another Empyrean Divine Guard? This is a violation of the rules. Follow me to the law enforcement hall to receive your punishment. A deacon flew over angrily and berated loudly. You're the one who's bold. The Sheng family's direct descendant is here to handle matters. Get lost. Sheng Kong shouted and then waved his hand. A purple gold jade token flew out and rapidly expanded. It flashed with light and two golden words were engraved in the middle. Shang Tian. The Sheng family Shengtan token. The deacon's expression changed drastically. In the Sheng family, only the direct descendants of the Sheng family had the Shang Tian token. Moreover, only the most outstanding of the Sheng family's direct descendants had it. It represented their status. The scene was in an uproar. A direct descendant of the Sheng family had appeared here? Was he here to stand up for Sheng Wushuang? How could Sheng Wushuang be so capable to invite a direct descendant of the Sheng family? Humph, now get lost. Sheng Kong shouted. The deacon squeezed out an ugly smile. He glanced at the East Sky Courtyard, clenched his teeth and turned to leave. The rules were useful for ordinary people, but the Sheng family was one of the two strongest families of the Empyrean Divine Palace in the Tianqian region. Continue. Let's see if you can come out or not. Sheng Kong sent out another palm, and a huge palm smashed down on the East Sky Courtyard, causing it to shake violently. Within the East Sky Courtyard, Killing intent exploded from Lu Ming's eyes. He immediately focused on stabilizing his true yuan. Boom! Boom! Shang Kong's palms were constantly smashing down. The Eastern Sky Monastery was like a small boat in a storm, constantly shaking. Lu Ming is done for. Shang Wushuang actually managed to invite a direct descendant of the Shang family. Look at their auras. They're unfathomable. They're definitely not ordinary kings. The way I see it, there's definitely something else. Just Shang Wushuang alone wouldn't make a direct descendant of the Shang family come so far to cause trouble for Lu Ming. Chapter 498. Shang Kong sent out 9 palms in a row. Just as he was about to send out the 10th palm, a roar came from the Eastern Sky Monastery. A crack appeared in the barrier and a figure charged out. It's Lu Ming. He's charged out. Foolish, truly foolish. The Eastern Sky Monastery's grand formation can't be broken. If I were Lu Ming, I would hide in the Eastern Sky Monastery. That way they wouldn't be able to do anything. Charging out now is just courting death. Lu Ming is young and full of vigor and talent. Now that he is being bullied, of course he can't hold it in. It's a pity that his opponent this time is a direct descendant of the Shang family. A powerful king. Xueqiao can't be compared to him at all. Standing in the void, Lu Ming spotted Shang Wushuang, Shang Kong, and Shang Wei at a glance. Shang Wushuang, it's you again. You're courting death. Roared Lu Ming, his eyes emitting icy killing intent. Haha, Lu Ming, don't be so arrogant. This time the one to die is you. Sneered Shang Wushuang without the slightest fear. Shang Kong stepped forward, arrogantly looking at Lu Ming. So you're Lu Ming. Very good. I thought you would be like a coward hiding inside. Since you've come out, then cripple your own cultivation and follow me to the central region of the Tianxian region. Shang Kong clasped his hands behind his back, speaking in a commanding tone. Lu Ming looked at Shang Kong like he was looking at an idiot. Who was this fellow? Did he have a problem with his head? As soon as he came out, he told Lu Ming to cripple his own cultivation and follow him. Who did he think he was? And so Lu Ming indifferently said, "Where did this wild dog come from? Why are you barking in front of my door? Do you want to be my guard dog?" What? What did you say? As soon as Lu Ming said that, Shang Kong was stunned. Lu Ming actually dared to speak to him in this manner? Bastard, do you know who I am? Listen carefully. I'm a member of the Shang family. A direct descendant of the Shang family. Now kneel down and admit your mistake. Slap yourself 100 times and cripple your own cultivation. Shang Kong shouted. What bullshit, Shang family? I've never heard of it. Just now it was you who attacked the Eastern Sky Monastery, right? Very well, you attacked me with 9 palms just now. I will slap you 9 times before you can leave. Lu Ming said indifferently. Everyone nearby was dumbfounded. Lu Ming's arrogance knew no bounds. To think that he would be so arrogant in front of a direct descendant of the Saint family. This was practically courting death. Even without the name of the sacred clan, the other party was still a powerful martial king. Lu Ming was simply courting death. However, they didn't know that Lu Ming had never heard of the Holy Clan. Moreover, with Lu Ming's character, even if he knew, he would still have the same attitude. Shang Kong, Shang Wei, and the others were also dumbfounded. Especially Shang Kong, whose face was flushed red and his body was emitting an extremely strong killing intent. He was so angry that his body was trembling. He glared at Lu Ming and shouted, "Little bastard, you're courting death. You're courting death. No one can save you." Boom! A tsunami-like aura burst out from Shang Kong's body. A terrifying pressure spread out for 10 miles. What a strong aura. That's a 2nd-level martial king. Who is it? Who dares to attack the residents of the Ditian Divine Guards? Figures rushed out from a mountain in the distance. Those who lived in the mountain were the previous generation of Ditian Divine Guards. Many of them had even broken through to the martial king realm. Whoosh! Whoosh! These Ditian Divine Guards also flew over. When they found out that it was a direct descendant of the Shang family, they were all shocked. No one dared to interfere. Now kneel down. Shang Kong roared and took a step forward. With a wave of his palm, a huge khaki-colored palm pressed down on Lu Ming. How strong! That's a 2nd-level martial king. His strength is definitely at the top among the second-level martial kings. He's a peerless genius. Lu Ming is done for. This person is more than 10 times stronger than Xue Chao. As soon as Shang Kong attacked, various thoughts flashed through the minds of the people around him. What's there to be proud of with a mere second-level martial king? Just as the giant yellow palm was about to hit Lu Ming's calm voice was heard. Then Lu Ming threw a punch and the huge khaki-colored palm exploded as though it was made of tofu. Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared in front of Shang Kong in a flash. Shang Kong had never imagined that Lu Ming would be able to break his attack so easily and appear before him so quickly. According to Palace Master Lei and Shang Wushuang, wasn't Lu Ming just a half-step martial king 2 months ago? How could a half-step martial king be so strong? Therefore it was too late for him to dodge. Lu Ming raised his hand and threw out a slap. Slap. The crisp sound of a slap could be heard from afar. Shang Kong was slapped so hard that he spun more than 10 rounds on the spot. He then looked at Lu Ming with a dumbstruck expression. He was completely dumbfounded. The others were dumbfounded too. Their eyes were wide open as they stared at Shang Kong. Lu Ming had slapped Shang Kong. How did he do it? Shang Kong's aura had reached the second-level martial king realm. Everyone thought they were dreaming. First slap, 8 more to go. The crowd only woke up when Lu Ming's calm voice was heard. Hiss. Then the sound of people sucking in cold air could be heard. Martial king, martial king. To be able to break Shang Kong's attack and slap him, he was definitely a martial king. Lu Ming had reached the martial king realm. How was this possible? Wasn't this speed too fast? Not long ago, when Lu Ming had challenged Xue Chao, he was only a half-step martial king. In less than 2 months, Lu Ming had reached the martial king realm. He was simply a monster. One should know that even peerless geniuses had to stay in the half-step martial king realm for a period of time. The shortest was a year, and the longest was several years before they could break through to the martial king realm. Moreover, the success rate was not high. Now Lu Ming had achieved the emperor realm in just a few months' time. Furthermore, he had slapped a second-layer martial emperor realm genius in the face. This was unbelievable. Shang Wushuang was so shocked that his eyes were about to explode. His body was trembling violently. A few months ago, his words of reprimanding Lu Ming were still vivid in his mind. Now Lu Ming had completely left him in the dust. Hey, you're courting death, you're courting death. Shang Kong finally reacted and let out a frenzied cry. Pa! Lu Ming waved his hand and slapped Shang Kong's face again. Shang Kong's cry came to an abrupt stop as his body was sent flying into the distance. Courting death. On the side, Shang Wei let out a furious roar as a terrifying aura erupted from his body. Around his body, wisps of crimson flames filled the air as a blazing aura spread out, burning the space until it was distorted. The aura of a second-level martial king. Fiery dragon fist. Shang Wei roared and threw a punch. A flaming dragon pounced toward Lu Ming, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. Its power was terrifying. Even an early-stage third-level martial king would not dare to take this attack head-on. Without a doubt, Shang Wei was a peerless genius. Even at the martial king realm, he was able to fight those above his level. True dragon strike. The demon-suppressing spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. He thrust out the spear and a 3-colored dragon danced in the air. Chapter 499. Boom! There was an earth-shattering explosion and a dragon's roar resounded throughout the area. In the end, the fiery dragon was no match for the dragon. It exploded and disappeared into thin air. Roar! Although the tricolor dragon had shrunk significantly, it still charged toward Shang Wei. Shang Wei's body shook violently as he retreated frantically. There was dead silence at the scene. Lu Ming was too powerful. Not only had he broken through to the martial king realm, but Shang Wei, who was at the peak of LV2 martial king realm, was no match for him. This was unbelievable. Boom! Lu Ming strode forward and waved his hand. A huge palm print shrouded Shang Kong. Let's attack together. Shang Kong roared. On the other side, Shang Wei had also recovered his breath. He unleashed his full strength and charged toward Lu Ming. The combined power of the two was extremely terrifying. However, it was all in vain. Boom! Boom! After a few explosions, Sheng Wei coughed out blood and retreated like a cannonball. Then there was another crisp slap. Lu Ming had slapped Sheng Kong's face again. The third slap. Lu Ming's calm voice was heard. Die, die, you little bastard. I want you to die without a burial place. Sheng Kong roared like a madman. He was about to lose his mind. Who was he? He was a direct descendant of the Shang family and a peerless genius. He had grown up with a silver spoon in his mouth. Who dared to treat him like this? Right now, he had been slapped 3 times by Lu Ming in front of everyone. This was simply more unbearable than death. You talk too much. Fight. Lu Ming moved and charged toward Sheng Kong again. Sheng Kong roared in anger and attacked Lu Ming like a madman. However, it was useless. Slap. He was slapped hard on the face again. It was crisp and clear. The fourth slap. Lu Ming's calm voice was heard again. Ah! Sheng Kong roared wildly. He was on the verge of a mental breakdown. The others felt a chill in their gums. It was as if they had been slapped in the face. Lu Ming quickly released Sheng Kong. Do you know that you've already caused a disaster? Sheng Wei roared from the side. His face was filled with shock, and he didn't dare to help. What a joke. I just gave him a few slaps and it's a disaster? Just now, he attacked the Eastern Sky Monastery. Why don't you say he caused a calamity? Lu Ming sneered and chided. Lu Ming, do you know that we are direct descendants of the Shang family? We are different from you. Sheng Wei roared. Especially the direct descendants of the Shang family. What bullshit direct descendant of the Holy Family? In my eyes, he's worthless. Pa! As soon as Lu Ming said that, Lu Ming slapped Sheng Kong's face again. The fifth slap. Pa! The sixth slap. The seventh slap. The applause continued. Everyone at the scene was dumbfounded as they stared blankly at the scene. Especially Sheng Wushuang. His face was completely drained of blood, and his body was trembling from fear. At this moment, Sheng Kong's face was swollen like a pig's head. His meridians were sealed, and he had lost all ability to resist. Stop! When Lu Ming finished his 8th slap and was about to deliver his 9th slap, an earth-shaking roar came from afar. Haha, Lu Ming, you're dead for sure. Why haven't you released Sheng Kong yet? Sheng Wei was overjoyed when he heard that voice. That voice belonged to Elder Sheng Yao. Lu Ming frowned and a trace of coldness flashed in his eyes. His palm didn't stop as he delivered his 9th slap. Pa! Sheng Kong was sent flying by the impact. How dare you? You're courting death. That voice rang out again, filled with rage and incomparably cold killing intent. Shua! Shua! 2 figures appeared at the scene. One was the Thunder Hall Master, and the other was the Shang family's elder, Sheng Yao. At this moment, their eyes were filled with terrifying killing intent. Damn it, that little bastard Lu Ming has broken through to the Martial King realm. And his battle strength is so strong. Chower Chong Kong, and the others must be in deep trouble. The Thunder Hall Master roared in his heart. Previously, he had thought that someone was helping Lu Ming. But now it was proven that Lu Ming didn't need anyone's help. The experts he had sent were no match for Lu Ming. He had already tried his best to overestimate Lu Ming. He had set up a series of traps and even sent a 3rd-level Martial King and 4 2nd-level Martial King experts to deal with Lu Ming, a half-step king. This was simply a trap that was impossible to fail, but it had failed. Little bastard, I told you to stop. Didn't you hear me? Sheng Yao stared coldly at Lu Ming. Didn't I stop? Lu Ming smiled faintly. Lu Ming, do you know who this is? This is the Shang family's elder. You dare to quibble in front of the Shang family's elder? You're courting death. Furthermore, you dared to injure the Shang family's elites. You've already committed a great crime. Why don't you kneel down and cripple your own cultivation and admit your guilt? The Thunder Hall Master berated. Admit my guilt? That guy attacked the East Sky Courtyard without any reason. According to the rules, he should be punished. I only retaliated. What crime am I guilty of? Lu Ming replied indifferently without any fear. Shut up. Who do you think you are? How can a lowly life be compared to the Shang family's direct descendant? Kneel down and admit your guilt. The Thunder Hall Master yelled. I'll kneel down to your mother. Old man, if you treat yourself as a dog, don't treat others as dogs. If you want to kneel down and lick the Shang family's elders' feet, go back and slowly kneel down, Lu Ming yelled. He was originally filled with killing intent towards the Thunder Hall Master. Now that the Thunder Hall Master was calling him a little bastard and asking him to kneel down and admit his guilt, Lu Ming was infuriated. He didn't give him any face. The other Empyrean Divine Guards were dumbfounded. This Lu Ming was simply too daring. He actually dared to curse the Thunder Hall Master in front of so many people. As expected, the Thunder Hall Master's face flushed red. His body trembled with rage. He pointed at Lu Ming and roared, "Disgraceful! Disgraceful! Brother Zheng, why waste words with him? Take him down and cripple his cultivation," Sheng Yao coldly shouted. He raised his hand, and a terrifying concept of fire erupted. It formed a giant flaming hand that grabbed at Lu Ming. The world was scorching hot. They were both using the concept of fire, but Sheng Wei was trash when compared to Sheng Yao. The difference was like heaven and earth. There was simply no way to compare them. Not good. Lu Ming's expression changed. He could feel a terrifying aura of death approaching him. This aura was too strong. It wasn't something he could resist. The difference was too great. "Let's go." The Divine Guard token glowed. Behind Lu Ming, the East Sky Courtyard's protective light screen cracked open. Lu Ming directly rushed in. Then the light screen reformed. "Hide. Is it useful to hide in there? Break for me," Sheng Yao coldly shouted. Boom! The giant flaming hand slammed into the East Sky Courtyard's light screen. The light screen shook violently. The entire mountain shook violently as if it was about to explode. But in the end, the light screen still managed to block this attack. Again. The Wind Hall leader and the others exclaimed, "That's right. Do you still want to stop me?" Sheng Yao said coldly. The Wind Hall leader and the others wore unpleasant expressions. A Peak King was already half a step into the first level of the Spirit God realm, the Spirit Ocean realm. Although the three of them were all kings, even if they joined forces, they would not be a match for a Peak King. Rumble. Although the inscription array around the Eastern Sky Courtyard was profound, it was on the verge of collapsing under Shang Yao's attacks and was about to be pulled out. Lu Ming. Although the Wind Palace Master and the others were extremely anxious, there was nothing they could do against Shang Yao, who had already broken through to the Peak King level. "Ha ha ha, Lu Ming, you dare disrespect this old man? Only death awaits you." The Wind Palace Master sneered inwardly. As for Shang Wushuang, he was also ecstatic. Die. Lu Ming, no matter how arrogant you are, what use is it in front of the Shang family? In the Tianxian domain, apart from the Mu family, the Shang family is the sky. They are everything. Shang Wushuang laughed wildly in his heart. Just at this moment, a light breeze blew by, and the flame hand covering the Eastern Sky Monastery dissipated at a speed visible to the naked eye, turning into nothingness. The Eastern Sky Courtyard regained its calm. Puff! Within the Eastern Sky Courtyard, Lu Ming spat out several mouthfuls of blood. His clothes were stained with blood, and his face was pale and his aura weak. Just a moment ago, he had already been heavily injured. "Old man!" Lu Ming cursed as he lay on the ground. Outside the Eastern Sky Courtyard, Shang Yao's expression changed. "Mu Zheng!" A solemn voice sounded from Shang Yao's mouth. Without a sound, an old man in a green robe appeared with a faint smile on his face. "This subordinate greets the Palace Master." The Wind Palace Master, Fire Palace Master, and the others, including the Thunder Palace Master, immediately bowed when they saw this elder. What? Palace Master? Could it be the Palace Master of the Eastern Palace of the Tianxian Domain? At this moment, many of the Empyrean Divine Guards were shocked. The Palace Master of the Eastern Palace of the Tianxian Domain was extremely elusive, and very few people had seen him before. Who would have thought that he would appear today? This subordinate greets the Palace Master. The Empyrean Divine Guards present all bowed to the elder in green robes. Damn it, wasn't Mu Zheng in seclusion? Why did he come out? Damn it! The Thunder Palace Master roared in his heart. You don't have to be so polite. Mu Zheng waved his sleeves and a breeze blew. Everyone felt a gentle force supporting them as they straightened their bodies. Palace Master? Is the Palace Master here? In the eastern sky courtyard, Lu Ming naturally heard the commotion outside, and his expression changed. Thereafter, he struggled to get up and walked out of the eastern sky courtyard. As soon as Lu Ming walked out, everyone's eyes turned to look at Lu Ming. This little bastard is still alive? He can still move. The Thunder Palace Master thought to himself. The Wind Palace Master and the others heaved a sigh of relief. As for Sheng Yao, his eyes were filled with murderous intent. Mu Zheng, you came at the right time. This little bastard offended his superiors, contradicted his elders, and even injured the elites of the Shang family. He deserves to die. Now, take him down and hand him over to me for punishment in the central region. Sheng Yao said coldly. Hee, Sheng Yao, don't try to act like this in front of me. Do you think I don't know the face of the Shang family? Lu Ming beat up the people of the Shang family. That was your own fault. Who can you blame for your own incompetence? Do you have to contradict your elders? As an elder, if you don't do what an elder should do, shouldn't you contradict them? You can even hit them. Mu Zheng smiled faintly and glanced at the Thunder Palace Master. The Thunder Palace Master's face immediately turned pale, and his heart turned cold. Mu Zheng, it seems like you must interfere today? Sheng Yao's face turned ugly as he shouted. This is the eastern palace of the Tianxian domain, and it is under my jurisdiction. What do you think if you cause trouble here? Mu Zheng said. Good, very good. Mu Zheng, I heard that you are about to open your spiritual sea and break through to the Sea of Soul Realm. Today I will give it a try. Sheng Yao's eyes revealed a trace of battle intent. Let's fight in the sky. Mu Zheng's reply was simple. Swish. Swish. Mu Zheng and Sheng Yao's figures flashed as they rushed into the sky. Boom! Immediately after, an earth-shattering explosion sounded in the sky, and a powerful pressure spread out for hundreds of miles. Chapter 501. High up in the sky, it was as if a sun had exploded. A blazing storm descended from high up in the sky. Not good. The Wind Hall Master, Fire Hall Master, and several others moved and appeared above the crowd. With a wave of their hands, they formed a light screen that blocked the raging firestorm in the sky. Boom! 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 Following which, terrifying explosions rang out continuously in the sky. Those with lower cultivations could only feel their eardrums ringing. Their faces turned pale and they almost vomited blood. Those who were martial kings and above stared at the sky. However, most of them could not see the figures clearly. They could only see a ball of green energy and a ball of red energy clashing against each other. Every time they clashed, there would be an earth-shattering explosion. The blazing light even covered the sun in the sky. Fortunately, the two of them were fighting in the sky. If they were fighting on the ground within 100 miles would have been cracked. Is this the strength of a peak king? They are indeed very strong. Lu Ming raised his head and looked at the sky, clenching his fists tightly. This strength was indeed much stronger than his current strength. However, he was not discouraged at all. Instead, there was a burning desire to fight in his eyes. Give me 2 years and I will definitely surpass that old man. Lu Ming muttered. The battle in the sky continued and it became more and more intense. In the end, green and red light filled the entire sky. The people below could no longer see what was happening above. About 2 minutes later, the green and red light dissipated and 2 figures flew down from the sky. They were Mu Zheng and Sheng Yao. However, Sheng Yao was in a sorry state now. He was panting heavily and his face was pale. There was even a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. On the other hand, Mu Zheng was breathing calmly. His face was rosy and his clothes were neat. He was completely fine. Sheng Yao, I will let you off this time. Let's go. Leave the east of Tianxian region. Mu Zheng said. Haha, good. Very good. Mu Zheng, do you think you can protect this little bastard? You are too naive. If my Sheng family wants him dead, he will die. Sheng Yao shouted. Sheng Yao, do you think that the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace belongs to your Sheng clan? The ruler of the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace is Emperor Di. We're just helping Emperor Di manage his territory. If the Holy Clan acts like this, sooner or later you'll get into trouble. Mu Zheng shouted. Mu Zheng, my Shang clan is loyal and devoted. You don't need to use Martial Emperor D to pressure me. I'll say it right here. You can help him once, but you can't help him a second time. Offending my Shang clan, your fate is already sealed. Sheng Yao shouted coldly. Then, he looked at Lu Ming and said coldly, little bastard, just you wait. You won't live for long. Old man, I was just about to say this to you. I'll remember what happened today. You better wash your neck clean and wait. Sooner or later I'll chop off your head. Lu Ming retorted sarcastically, giving tit for tat. Haha. Sheng Yao laughed out of anger. Cold killing intent burst out from his body as he stared at Lu Ming and said, it's useless to be sharp-tongued. Just you wait. Let's go back to the Shang clan. Sheng Yao waved his hand and led the way to the exit of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. Sheng Kong and Sheng Wei glanced at Lu Ming viciously. Then they followed Sheng Yao and left in an instant. Elder, wait for me. Sheng Wushuang's face turned pale with fright. He didn't dare to stay here. If Sheng Yao and the others left, he would be in trouble. Therefore, he left with Sheng Yao and the others. That little bastard, he managed to escape again. Palace Master lay cursed in his heart. Then he left the place. The storm ended with Mu Zheng's arrival. Junior Lu Ming greets the Palace Master. Thank you for saving my life. Lu Ming came to Mu Zheng and cupped his fists. However, his mind was spinning rapidly. Mu Zheng's surname is also Mu. I wonder how he is related to Mulan's. Mu Zheng revealed a gentle smile and said, you don't have to thank me. This is the Eastern Palace of the Tianxian Domain, and you are my Emperor Heaven Divine Guard. I should help you. At this moment, Palace Master Feng, Palace Master Hua, and Palace Master Jin also came forward. Lu Ming, are you alright? Palace Master Feng asked worriedly. Thank you for your concern, Palace Master Feng. It's just a small injury. It's nothing serious. Lu Ming said. That's good. Palace Master Feng and the others heaved a sigh of relief. Lu Ming, this spirit-enhancing pill is good for healing. Take it and go back to heal your injuries. Also, you have to increase your strength as soon as possible. I reckon that the Shang clan won't let this go. Mu Zheng looked at Lu Ming and said, thank you, Palace Master. Lu Ming didn't refuse. He took the pill and bowed. Then, he turned around and returned to the East Sky Courtyard. Everyone go back and cultivate. Mu Zheng waved his hand. The onlookers all dispersed. In the end, only Mu Zheng was left. At this moment, a young man in a white robe stepped in the air and appeared beside Mu Zheng. If Lu Ming was here, he would definitely recognize this young man. This young man was Mu Xuan, the one who had warned Lu Ming when he had just joined the Emperor God Palace. Sixth uncle. Mu Xuan bowed beside Mu Zheng. Mu Zheng looked at the East Sky Courtyard and frowned. After a while he sighed. There's a limit to how much we can help that girl. The rest is up to them. Sixth uncle, you don't have to worry too much. I think that Lu Ming's talent is extremely terrifying. In a few years he might be able to fight against the Shang clan. Mu Shuyuan said. I'm afraid that he won't be able to wait for a few years. Mu Zheng sighed. Mu Shuyuan remained silent. Forget it. Let's leave it to their luck. Let's go. Mu Zheng sighed and left with Mu Xuan. Lu Ming walked into the East Sky Courtyard and sat down cross-legged. He took out the elixir that Mu Zheng had given him and swallowed it. Once the elixir entered his mouth, it turned into a crystal-clear liquid and slid down his throat. Then it turned into a warm energy that spread throughout Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's injured body rapidly recovered. His cracked bones were also healing rapidly. What a mysterious healing elixir. This healing elixir is probably an upper-grade LV5 elixir. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Then, he circulated the true dragon battle art, and combined it with the elixir's medicinal power to heal his injured body. Lu Ming's injuries were recovering rapidly. A day later, Lu Ming's injuries were completely healed. Lu Ming took a bath in the small stream in the courtyard. He washed off the blood scabs on his body, revealing his bronze skin. Then Lu Ming changed into a black robe and looked energetic. Why did the Shang clan do this? Why did they suddenly find trouble with me and want to bring me to the central region? Is it because I beat up Shang Wushuang? Lu Ming sat cross-legged and thought to himself. This matter was a little strange. If it was because of a grudge with Shang Wushuang, the Shang clan wouldn't have made such a big fuss. Even a Peak King was involved. How was that possible? Lu Ming was a little confused about this matter. Forget it. If I can't figure it out, I won't think about it. Now, I'll continue to refine the spiritual crystals and increase my cultivation. Lu Ming took out another 10,000 supreme-grade spiritual crystals and exploded them. He began to devour the spiritual qi within the crystals to increase his cultivation. Soon, he finished devouring the 10,000 supreme-grade spiritual crystals. He took out another 10,000 and continued to devour them. Chapter 502. In addition to the 10,000 supreme spiritual crystals he had wasted due to Shang Kong's interruption, Lu Ming had spent a total of 70,000 supreme spiritual crystals to raise his cultivation from the mid-first layer martial king realm to the peak first layer martial king realm. Lu Ming was left with 80,000 supreme grade spirit crystals. Now let's break through to the second layer martial king realm. With a wave of his hand, another dense pile of spiritual crystals appeared in the air. This time Lu Ming took out 20,000 supreme-grade spirit crystals at one go. Bang! Bang! The supreme spiritual crystals exploded one after another like fireworks. Rich qi filled the air and was absorbed by the Nine Dragons' bloodline. The vast energy turned into rolling true yuan, as Lu Ming began to break through to the second layer martial king realm. Soon, all 20,000 supreme spiritual crystals were refined. Lu Ming took out another 20,000 supreme spiritual crystals. Almost there, almost there. Just one more step and I'll be able to break through to the second layer martial king realm. This time Lu Ming waved his hands and took out 30,000 pieces of supreme-grade spirit crystals. 30,000 supreme spiritual crystals were extremely powerful, as he began to break through to the second layer martial king realm. Half a day later, boom! With a loud explosion, Lu Ming's aura skyrocketed. He had broken through to the second layer martial king realm. Such powerful true yuan. It's 3 times more powerful than the first layer martial king realm. Lu Ming pondered as he felt the powerful true yuan in his body. No wonder there was a huge gap between each layer of the martial king realm. Now I only have 10,000 supreme grade spiritual crystals left. This is really a big expense. Lu Ming exclaimed. Of course, this was only for him. Other people would not need so many supreme spiritual crystals. Furthermore, Lu Ming's Thunder Will had already reached the first layer lesser success, which was why he could break through to the next level without any worries. Normally, people would have to work hard to comprehend the will of heaven and earth. As the will of heaven and earth improved, their cultivation would also improve. However, Lu Ming's will of heaven and earth improved so much. If only I had enough supreme spiritual crystals, my cultivation could reach the fourth layer martial king realm and become a lesser success martial king realm. Lu Ming thought to himself. However, he immediately shook his head. Leveling up to LV1 martial king realm required so many supreme spiritual crystals. Leveling up to LV2 martial king realm and LV3 martial king realm would require a terrifying amount of supreme spiritual crystals. Looks like I'll have to think of a way to get more resources. And that Dandan, ever since it ate the heavenly tribulation last time, it hasn't done anything. I wonder how it's doing. Lu Ming picked up the Dandan hanging in his hair and looked at it carefully. If it wasn't for the layer of sparkling luster on the eggshell and the life force that was seeping out of the stone egg, Lu Ming was really afraid that something had happened to the Dandan. After all, it had eaten a heavenly tribulation. Right at this moment, Lu Ming's expression changed. With a wave of his hand, a jade box appeared on the ground. Inside the jade box, there were 2 pieces of pitch-black withered branches. There was also half a box of spring water. There was originally a whole box of spring water, but now there was only half a box left. Among the 2 pieces of pitch-black withered branches soaked in the spring water, one of them had a bud growing on one end. Yes, one of the pieces of withered branches had come alive and grown a bud. The bud was shining with a little luster, making it look crystal clear. However, what surprised Lu Ming the most was that the bud was emitting a mysterious aura. Under this aura, Lu Ming's mind was extraordinarily clear, as if he had abandoned everything and was immersed in the Tao of heaven and earth. In the past, he was able to figure out some of the things that he didn't understand about martial arts very quickly. Comprehending Tao. In this state, Lu Ming seemed to be comprehending Tao. Amazing, too amazing. What's the origin of this withered branch? It's only a bud, but it can help me comprehend Tao. Lu Ming was astonished. Now let's comprehend the Tao of heaven and earth. Immediately, Lu Ming closed his eyes and began to comprehend the Tao of wind. Immediately, Lu Ming felt that his perception of the Tao of wind was very clear. The speed of his comprehension was at least 10 times faster than before. Heavens, this is too amazing. Lu Ming's eyes stared at the bud. At this time, Lu Ming saw that on the bud, there was a mysterious pattern. It looked like a real dragon, a phoenix, a qilin and other ancient divine beasts. It was incomparably mysterious. According to the legends in the ancient times, there was a kind of spiritual root of heaven and earth called the Tao comprehending spiritual root. This kind of spiritual root grew into spiritual trees of different shapes. This kind of spiritual tree was called the Tao comprehending ancient tree. According to the legends, in the ancient times, the most powerful people in the world would plant a Tao comprehending ancient tree beside them to help with their cultivation. Could it be that this withered branch fell from one of the Tao comprehending ancient trees? Lu Ming suddenly thought of a legend. Thinking of this legend, Lu Ming's heart burned with passion. It can't be true, right? If it's true, then I'm going to be rich. Lu Ming found it hard to believe. After all, there were too few Tao comprehending ancient trees. In the ancient times, only the most powerful people in the world could control one. Those powerful people were unbelievably strong. Today's martial emperors were like ants in front of those powerful people. Secret, it must be a secret. No matter if it's true or not, I can't let anyone know. Otherwise, I'll be dead. Lu Ming knew that if this branch was really the Tao comprehending ancient tree, the whole divine region would be in an uproar. Those martial emperors would definitely seize the Tao comprehending ancient tree at all costs. Right now, he had only grown one bud and his comprehension speed had increased by 10 times. What would happen if he grew 2, 3 or even more? How much help would it be to Lu Ming? Immediately, Lu Ming put the jade box into the Temple of Paragon and entered the Temple of Paragon. No matter if it's the real Tao comprehending ancient tree, it can increase one's comprehension speed by 10 times. This alone is invaluable. Haha, I'm going to be rich. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Then, Lu Ming began to comprehend various martial techniques. Indeed, under the cover of the mysterious aura of the bud, Lu Ming's mind was very clear. Whether it was comprehending martial techniques or the essence of heaven and earth, his comprehension speed was increased by 10 times. Cultivate. Let's start cultivating. Lu Ming put the jade box beside him and began to comprehend the essence of wind. He planned to condense the essence of wind into an essence rune. In terms of attack, he had the thunder essence for now. As long as he could condense the essence of wind into an essence rune, his speed would increase greatly. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. Lu Ming's comprehension of the essence of wind increased rapidly. It was equivalent to the result of 1 month's comprehension in the past. However, Lu Ming still felt that it was too slow. If I use the Tao comprehending ancient tree in the Tao comprehending palace, won't my comprehension speed be even faster? Lu Ming couldn't help but think. Regardless of whether it was the real Tao comprehending ancient tree, Lu Ming called it the Tao comprehending ancient tree. Felt good to call it that. Chapter 503. The Tao Enlightenment Palace costs 100 Supreme Grade Spirit Crystals a day. Lu Ming booked it for 2 months and spent 6,000 Supreme Grade Spirit Crystals. After entering Tao Enlightenment Palace, the Tao of heaven and earth floated. Finally, the 3 essences of wind, fire and thunder appeared. Lu Ming took out the Enlightenment Ancient Tree and placed it in front of him. Then, he threw away the fire and thunder essences and focused on comprehending the wind essence. After a while, Lu Ming opened his eyes and joy flashed in his eyes. Sure enough, the Enlightenment Ancient Tree could be combined with the essences here. It made Lu Ming's comprehension speed faster. It was at least 30 times faster than before. 30 times. That was to say, Lu Ming comprehended it for 1 day, which was equivalent to 1 month in the past. 1 day was equivalent to 1 month. How amazing was that? Immediately, Lu Ming raced against time to comprehend it. Time passed day by day. Lu Ming's comprehension of the wind essence increased rapidly. 1 month later, it was equivalent to 2.5 years of Lu Ming's previous cultivation time. After 2.5 years of comprehending the wind essence, he finally comprehended the wind essence to the point where he could condense essence runes. Start. Condense the essence runes. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. Buzz. The wind essence spread out and then completely converged. It began to condense in Lu Ming's mind. 2 hours later, an inch-long cyan rune was condensed successfully. This time there were no heavenly tribulations. It was calm. Just like that, Lu Ming successfully condensed the second essence rune. So cool. It's so cool to comprehend here. If I have enough top-grade spirit crystals, I can cultivate in seclusion here for a few years. Then, I'll be able to comprehend a concept to the completion of the first level. Lu Ming sighed secretly. However, it's still too slow. I don't have much time left. It's been 1.5 years, almost 2 years. Even at this speed, I won't be able to fight against Martial Emperor Di when the 10 years are up. Still needs to be faster. The more leaves the tree of enlightenment grows, the stronger its ability to help people comprehend the Tao. It seems that in the future, I have to find more treasures like spiritual liquid that can cultivate spiritual herbs to speed up the growth of the tree of enlightenment. Lu Ming's mind was filled with various thoughts. Shaking his head, Lu Ming temporarily suppressed these thoughts and continued to comprehend. This time he began to comprehend the fire essence rune. In the blink of an eye, more than 20 days fire spiritual essence rune, and spiritual fire essence rune. On this day, the surrounding space started trembling slightly. You want to teleport me out? What's going on? There's still a few more days runes rune? Lu Ming waved his hand and put away the martial Tao ancient tree, full of doubts. Wang. After a dozen breaths, the space trembled and Lu Ming's figure disappeared. In the next moment, he appeared outside the Tao Comprehension Palace. Lu Ming, the envoy of the Heavenly Profound Branch Palace, is here. He has something important to discuss with you, so we can only let you come out early. You still have 6 days. I'll return these 600 spiritual crystals to you. One of the guardian elders of the Tao Comprehension Palace waved his hand, and the 600 spiritual crystals flew towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming stretched out his hand to catch them, but his heart was filled with doubts. The envoy of the Heavenly Profound Branch Palace? Lu Ming frowned. The Heavenly Profound Branch Palace was the headquarters of the Heavenly Divine Palace in the Tianqian region. It was said that in the beginning, a large region only had one Heavenly Divine Palace branch palace. For example, in the Tianqian region, there was only one Heavenly Divine Palace branch palace in the center of the Tianqian region, the most prosperous place. Later, because a large region was too vast, they set up some smaller Heavenly Divine Palaces in various places. In the Tianqian region there was a small Heavenly Divine Palace branch palace in the east, south, west, and north. However, the real core was still in the Heavenly Profound Branch Palace. The 4 Heavenly Profound Branch Palaces had to listen to the orders of the Heavenly Profound Branch Palace. Now, the Heavenly Profound Branch Palace had sent an envoy to find him? Could it be the Sheng family? Lu Ming's heart stirred. He thought of the Sheng family. This was the only possibility. Is the Sheng family finally going to make a move? I would like to see what kind of methods you will use. A sharp light flashed across Lu Ming's eyes. Swoosh! At this moment, a figure rushed over from afar and appeared in front of Lu Ming. Lu Ming, you have finally come out of seclusion. Go to the mission hall now. There is a mission for you. The person who came was a middle-aged deacon of the mission hall. He spoke at this moment. Senior, I wonder what kind of mission it is for me to come out of seclusion in such a hurry. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, Sigh. Lu Ming, I will not hide it from you. A few months ago, the Heavenly Corpse sect invaded the Tianqian region. In the central region of the Tianqian region, they had many battles with the Heavenly Profound Branch Palace and suffered heavy losses. This time, the Heavenly Profound Branch Palace issued an order to the other 4 branches to transfer a portion of the Emperor Sky Divine Guards to the central region. This time, your name is on the list. The middle-aged deacon had a good impression of Lu Ming, and explained to Lu Ming in detail. My name is on the list? Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Logically speaking, the Heavenly Profound Branch Palace only needed to give the Eastern Branch Palace a specific number of experts for the Eastern Branch Palace to arrange. Why would they specify his name? This was obviously intentional. Lu Ming was certain that this was the doing of the Shang family. Then, the two of them headed to the mission hall. Lu Ming. In front of the mission hall, Lu Ming saw the Hall Master of Wind. Hall Master. The middle-aged deacon bowed to the Hall Master of Wind. The Hall Master of Wind nodded and said, "You can go in first. I have something to say to Lu Ming." Yes. The middle-aged deacon bowed and walked into the mission hall. Lu Ming. I'm sure you have a rough idea of what happened. The Hall Master of Wind said. I have a rough idea. Lu Ming nodded and said, "This time you must be careful. The Heavenly Profound Branch Palace wants you to go with them. This is definitely the doing of the Shang family. Moreover, the Shang family wants to support the Heavenly Profound Branch Palace and eliminate the Heavenly Corpse sect. Even the Palace Master can't reject this. In the central region, the Shang family is extremely powerful. They just want you to go to the central region. At that time they can do whatever they want to you." The Hall Master of Wind said with a solemn expression. "They won't ask a few seniors to kill me, right?" Lu Ming asked. Of course not. Although the Shang family is powerful, they still have scruples. However, the younger generation doesn't have such scruples. Moreover, it's impossible to guard against any schemes. The Hall Master of Wind said. Lu Ming nodded. The seniors wouldn't make a move openly. It was much easier to deal with the younger generation. Then Lu Ming thanked the Hall Master of Wind. The Hall Master of Wind reminded Lu Ming to be careful and keep a low profile when he went to the central region. Chapter 504. The middle-aged deacon led Lu Ming to complete the mission procedures. Lu Ming, come to the mission hall tomorrow morning and meet up with the others. You will form the first batch of reinforcements and head to the mysterious Sky Branch Palace. There will be several batches of reinforcements heading to the mysterious Sky Branch Palace. The middle-aged deacon said. All right. Lu Ming nodded and left the mission hall, returning to the East Sky courtyard. Sitting cross-legged in the courtyard, Lu Ming's thoughts were flying. The Tianxian Branch Palace, the Shang family. Senior sister Mulan should also be in the Tianxian Branch Palace. Alright, the Tianxian Branch Palace. Even if it is a dragon's lair or a tiger's den, I, Lu Ming, have to barge in. Immediately, Lu Ming continued to comprehend the fire concept. After this period of comprehension, the fire concept had almost reached the level of condensing concept runes. As long as the fire concept condensed concept runes, then the wind, fire, and thunder concepts would all condense concept runes. Lu Ming's battle strength would undoubtedly increase greatly. Moreover, he could cultivate the fourth level of the three ultimates of the dragon god. Beside a small lake, Mu Zheng stood with his hands behind his back. Mu Shuyuan stood beside him. Sixth uncle, the Shang family is really fast. They actually used this method to recruit Lu Ming to the mysterious Sky Branch Palace. What should we do now? Mu Shuyuan said. The Shang family's method is really brilliant. Even I can't refuse. Lu Ming going to the mysterious Sky Branch Palace is no doubt trespassing into a tiger's den. Mu Zheng sighed. How about this, Xuan? You immediately head to the mysterious Sky Branch Palace and wait for an opportunity to take care of Lu Ming. Mu Zheng continued. All right, I will leave immediately. Mu Xuan nodded and his figure flashed, disappearing without a trace. In the Thunder Hall, the Thunder Hall Master laughed wildly, extremely carefree. Haha, Lu Ming, when you reach the mysterious Sky Branch Palace, you still won't die? I will wait here for your good news. A day passed in the blink of an eye. The next morning, Lu Ming came to the mission hall. Some people had already gathered in the mission hall. Lu Ming swept his gaze over them. Among these people there were men and women, old and young. However, they were all martial king realm cultivators. Among them, there were a few whose auras were terrifyingly powerful and unfathomable. Small success king. Those people were definitely kings at the small success stage. The number of people was still increasing. 10 minutes later, including Lu Ming, there were exactly 50 people in the mission hall. At this moment, an old man walked into the mission hall. Palace Master. Greetings, Palace Master. Everyone bowed respectfully. This old man was Palace Master Mu Zheng of the Eastern Palace of the Tianxian region. Then, he rushed into a mountain and returned with a sturdy horned sheep. After cleaning the sheep, he started to roast it. Soon, a fragrant aroma filled the air. The horned sheep became glossy and shiny. Lu Ming took out a jar of wine and ate and drank alone. Haha, good wine, really good wine. Brother Lu, can you let me, old Zhuang, have a taste of the meat and wine as well? A tall and sturdy man with strong arms walked to the bonfire and grinned. Of course, please. Lu Ming smiled. This man was called Zhuang Hong, and he was extremely powerful. He was one of the 3 kings in Lu Ming's group that had reached the king realm. However, he was honest and sincere and didn't have many thoughts. Along the way, he was the only one who would occasionally talk to Lu Ming. Zhuang Hong grinned, sat down, and tore off a leg of the horned sheep without any hesitation, and started to eat it. So fragrant, so fragrant. The meat is fat but not greasy. Out of all the meat roasted by so many people, I still like Brother Lu's the most. Zhuang Hong's mouth was filled with oil as he praised loudly. Lu Ming smiled, and with a wave of his hand, a jar of wine appeared, and he threw it to Zhuang Hong. Zhuang Hong caught it, opened the lid and took a big gulp. He praised, good wine, really good wine. Please. Lu Ming smiled and started to eat as well. Brother Lu, in fact, I, old Zhuang, really admire you. Even in the face of the Saint family, you can still hold your head high. You can say whatever you want and scold whatever you want. This is what a true martial artist is like. I, old Zhuang, admire you. Come, let me toast you. Zhuang Hong yelled as he ate. Lu Ming clinked glasses with Zhuang Hong and took a big gulp of the wine. Brother Lu, I have faith in you. With your talent, I'm sure you'll be able to beat those arrogant geniuses of the Sheng family in the future. Zhuang Hong yelled again. At this moment, Lu Ming frowned, and his face changed slightly. There's a smell of blood. Lu Ming whispered. Zhuang Hong was dazed and said doubtfully, Brother Lu, we killed so many demonic beasts just now. Of course there's a smell of blood. It's not the blood of demonic beasts, it's the blood of humans. Lu Ming said with a frown. The 9 dragons' bloodline had devoured a large amount of blood essence of humans and demonic beasts. Therefore, Lu Ming could easily distinguish the difference between the smell of blood of humans and demonic beasts. Ah! Chapter 505. Everyone's expression changed. That's Wuxia's voice. He went to hunt demonic beasts. What happened? What danger did he encounter? Someone yelled. Ah! At this moment another scream was heard. It's Zhao. He is also hunting demonic beasts. Someone exclaimed. Let's go and take a look. Someone yelled. Then 7 or 8 voices flew in that direction. They stood high in the sky and looked down. However, it was night after all. Their vision was obstructed and they could not see clearly. Then they flew down. The next moment screams were heard. In just a few breaths there were no more sounds. 7 or 8 experts of the martial king realm had suddenly disappeared. There are enemies. Gather together. Quick, don't be defeated one by one. A few shouts were heard. It was the other 2 martial kings. Lu Ming and Zhuang Hong also gathered together. 40 or so people gathered together. What on earth is there? 8 martial kings were taken care of so quickly. Someone said solemnly. Rustle, rustle. At this moment, everyone heard a rustling sound. It was particularly eerie in the forest at night. What's that? Everyone focused their attention, opened their eyes wide and looked around. Oh no, it's under our feet. Lu Ming suddenly yelled. What? The others were stunned. Bang! Suddenly, under the feet of one of the Detian Divine Guards, a pitch-black beast claw stretched out and grabbed one of the Detian Divine Guard's feet. What's that? The Detian Divine Guard yelled in horror. He was a mid-stage martial king realm expert. At this moment, he exerted all his strength and slashed at the beast claw with his saber. However, an astonishing scene happened. When the saber slashed at the beast claw, it was as if it had slashed at some kind of hard steel. The sound of metal clashing could be heard. It could not be cut. Roar! A beast roar came from underground. The beast claw tore off one of the Detian Divine Guard's legs. The Detian Divine Guard screamed and fell to the ground. The next moment, another beast claw reached out and grabbed at the young man's head. The Detian Divine Guard's scream came to an abrupt end. All this happened in the blink of an eye. When everyone reacted, the Detian Divine Guard was already dead. What demonic beast is that? Die! At the side, a few Detian Divine Guards roared as they launched violent attacks at the demonic beast. Boom! After a few booms, a large crater was blasted into the ground, but there was no trace of the demonic beast. Ah! Suddenly, another scream came from another direction. A first-layer Martial King Realm Empyrean Divine Guard was clawed to death by a beast claw that reached out from the ground. What kind of demonic beast is this? Why can't I sense any aura? Someone shouted in shock. Corpse. That's the corpse of a demonic beast. There's no sign of life. Finally, someone discovered the truth. Demonic beast corpse? Everyone was shocked. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Suddenly a sharp sound of something breaking through the air rang out. Black shadows shot towards them from all directions. It was faster than an arrow. Be careful. A loud roar resounded, and everyone burst out with powerful Zhenyuan. Their bodies were suffused with all kinds of lights, and one light after another burst out. Boom! Boom! With a loud explosion, those black shadows were sent flying back. That is, Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. He could clearly see that those black shadows were actually black chains. They are from the Heavenly Corpse sect. Lu Ming shouted. What? The Heavenly Corpse sect? How did the Heavenly Corpse sect know that we are here? Someone yelled in disbelief. Although their departure was not a secret, the route they took first was very secretive. Not many people knew about it. How did the Heavenly Corpse sect find them? Was it a coincidence? Haha. I didn't expect the people from the eastern part of the Tianqian domain to recognize us so quickly. How unexpected. A cold voice came from the forest in the distance. Whoosh! Whoosh! Then the crowd saw coffins flying out from the surrounding forest. These coffins were of different sizes and they floated in the air, blocking their escape route. There were at least 100 of them. Crack! These coffins opened and figures walked out one after another. Refined corpses. The first to walk out were all refined corpses. Their faces were pale, and there was a hint of black in their paleness. Their bodies were wrapped with black chains. Apart from these human-shaped refined corpses, there were also beast-shaped ones. Roar! A few demonic beasts that looked like black panthers with red eyes and fangs in their mouths roared. However, there was no sign of life on them. They were all refined corpses. Other than human corpses, demonic beast corpses could also be refined into refined corpses. The refined corpses of demonic beasts were called demonic corpses. Obviously, the ones that were hiding underground and launching a sneak attack were these demonic corpses. Following closely behind these refined corpses were pale-faced zombie guards in black robes. There were more than 200 refined corpses, and close to 100 corpse guards. Haha, it is not a waste that we have been lying in ambush here for a few days. With 50 martial king corpses we can refine 50 powerful refined corpses. One of the corpse guards sneered. How is this possible? How did you know that we would pass by here? How did you ambush us in advance? One of the divine guards shouted in disbelief. Haha, since you are about to die, there is no harm in telling you. Of course someone informed us. One of the corpse guards sneered. What? Everyone was shocked. There was a traitor. A traitor leaked their information to the Heavenly Corpse sect. Damn it, who is it? Someone roared. Could it be the Shang clan? Lu Ming's mind raced. His first suspicion was the Shang clan. They knew that he was in this group and wanted to use the Heavenly Corpse sect to get rid of him. However, was it necessary to sacrifice the lives of the other 49 divine guards? This was too ruthless. Haha, go to hell. Close to 100 corpse guards began to control the refined corpses. More than 200 refined corpses were surging with corpse chi and emitting a powerful aura. King level, these refined corpses were all king level corpses. 9 of them had extremely powerful auras. They were all at the king level. Everyone's expression changed drastically. This was a terrifying force. 9 king-level refined corpses, about 200 refined corpses from the first to the third layer of the martial king realm, and close to 100 corpse guards. This force was several times stronger than Lu Ming's. In order to deal with them, the Heavenly Corpse sect had sent out so many experts. This was a sure kill. Lu Ming and the others didn't even have a chance to escape. With such a great disparity in strength, it was impossible to escape. Lu Ming's expression became extremely solemn. Go, team up and charge in the same direction. Zhuang Hong roared and rushed to the west first. Go, go. The other 2 king-level corpses cooperated with Zhuang Hong and rushed in that direction. Chapter 506. Trying to break out? Dream on. Kill them all. A zombie guard with a powerful aura yelled. This zombie guard's cultivation was already at the early stage of the king realm. Whoosh! Whoosh! The sky was filled with chains. They were like black poisonous snakes that filled the void. The black chains either stabbed at the group like spears or wrapped around them like ropes. Ding! 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 Everyone's attacks were bounced back when they hit the chains. Only the attacks of the 3 early stage kings managed to break through dozens of chains. However, whoosh! Whoosh! The 9 early stage kings roared and waved their arms. A few chains flew out of each of their bodies and swept toward the 3 early stage kings. With a loud explosion, the 3 early stage kings were also knocked back, unable to break through. Damn it! What do we do? Some people panicked and couldn't break out at all. Kill! The zombie guard yelled. The refined corpses roared and the chains swept across the sky. Someone screamed as the chains pierced through his body and killed him. In a few breaths, another 4 or 5 people were killed. Keep going. Zhuang Hong yelled and charged forward with all his might. However, the 3 of them were completely blocked by the 9 early stage kings. It was impossible for them to break out. At this moment, everyone was in a tough battle and people were constantly being killed. What do we do? Lu Ming frowned and waved the spear in his hand to block the chains coming from all directions. The difference between the 3rd and 4th level of the martial king realm was the dividing line between the low-level martial king realm and the low-level martial king realm. Therefore, the difference between the 3rd and 4th level of the martial king realm was not simply a difference of 1 level but 2. Therefore, although Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the 2nd stage martial king realm, he was definitely not a match for the 4th stage kings. Zhuang Hong and the other 2 early stage kings were all at the 4th stage martial king realm. If they couldn't break through, Lu Ming would also have a hard time. Ah! Screams were heard as another person was killed, and his body was dragged out by the chains. At this moment there were less than 30 of them left. Zhuang Hong and the other 2 early stage kings were also in a tough battle. They were no match for a few refined corpses of the same cultivation realm, who were completely impervious to swords and spears. It had only been a short while, but there were already several wounds on their bodies. Whoosh! Whoosh! The chains danced in the air as a small success king was entangled by one of the chains. Damn it, break for me! This small success king roared, wanting to cut this iron chain. However, after several consecutive strikes, sparks flew in all directions, and only a shallow gap appeared on the iron chain. Whoosh! An iron chain pierced through his chest. His speed was as fast as lightning. This Detian divine guard roared and desperately moved his body to the side. Poochie! The iron chain was like a long spear. It pierced through his shoulder and blood splattered everywhere. Don't even think about resisting. Die and become my refined corpse. From the side came the sinister laughter of the zombie guard. Dream on, you bastards from the Heavenly Corpse sect. Don't even think about refining my corpse into a refined corpse. Hurry up and leave. I'll hold them off. This Detian divine guard's eyes were red as he roared at Zhuang Hong and the others. At the same time, the aura on his body began to surge violently. Damn it, he wants to self-destruct. Stop him! One of the Detian divine guards screamed. Ha ha ha! That Detian divine guard laughed loudly. Charge, charge, charge this way! Zhuang Hong and the others gritted their teeth and suddenly changed their direction, charging madly in the other direction. Boom! At this moment, an earth-shattering explosion rang out. Berserk energy surged out in all directions. That Detian Divine Guard had self-destructed. The self-destruction of a fourth-stage Martial King Realm King was unimaginably powerful. 9 small success King-level refined corpses were sent flying. Some of the lower-level refined corpses were directly blown into pieces. With a large number of refined corpses blocked, the pressure on Zhuanghong and the others was greatly reduced. Boom! Boom! Zhuanghong, another small success king, Lu Ming, and some other powerful Detian Divine Guards joined forces and blasted a huge gap in the refined corpses' encirclement. Charge! Whoosh! Whoosh! Immediately they rushed madly toward the gap. Lu Ming followed closely behind Zhuanghong and rushed out of the gap. Damn it! Block it! Block it! A large group of corpse guards roared. Iron chains flew across the sky and blocked the gap in an instant. There were still more than 10 people who did not manage to rush out and were trapped inside. In the next moment, screams rang out continuously. However, Lu Ming and the others could not care less. There was still a barrier in front of them, and that was the corpse guards. You want to leave? Impossible. Die. The corpse guards attacked. Corpse chi surged. All kinds of palm winds, claw lights, and saber lights that contained corpse chi blasted toward Lu Ming and the others. As long as the corpse guards blocked them for a while, they would be in danger. The refined corpses would soon surround them. Boom! Boom! Zhuanghong and the other small success king were blocked. The other side was also 2 small success king level corpse guards. If the refined corpses were removed, the corpse guards would be weaker than martial artists of the same level. However, it would not be a problem for them to stall for a short period of time. He die, you bastard! A zombie guard at LV3 Martial King Realm clawed at Lu Ming with its claws. You're the one who will die. Lu Ming's eyes were cold. He twisted his spine like a dragon and stabbed out with his spear. Extreme Dao Strike. After breaking through to the Martial King Realm, the power of the Extreme Dao Strike was extremely terrifying. Poochie. The corpse guard's head was pierced through by the spear, and he died. As soon as the corpse guard died, the refined corpses under his control stopped moving in the air. However, there were too many refined corpses. The stopping of a few refined corpses did not affect the overall situation. Whoosh! Lu Ming's figure flashed, and it looked like he was about to break out of the encirclement. Stop right there! A cold shout was heard. A saber light filled with corpse chi slashed toward Lu Ming's waist. Lu Ming raised his spear and blocked in front of him. Dang! A terrifying force surged toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's body trembled and he could not help but retreat. A pale-faced corpse guard holding a saber appeared in front of Lu Ming. Without a doubt, it was a small success king. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this moment, 9 small success king-level refined corpses were crazily rushing toward him from behind. Iron chains flew through the air and rushed toward him. Dandan, smash it! At this moment, Lu Ming shouted. Buzz! Dandan, which had been hanging on the end of his hair, shook slightly and flew out with a whoosh, smashing toward the corpse guard's face. Dandan seemed to have been digesting the heavenly tribulation since it ate it last time. It was only a few days ago that it was almost fully digested and had a reaction again. Lu Ming stared at Dandan. He wondered how it would be after it finished digesting the heavenly tribulation. It's just a stone. Break it. The corpse guard sneered and slashed out a saber light, wanting to smash Dandan into pieces. However, Dandan completely ignored the saber light. It rushed past and smashed toward the corpse guard's face. Bang! Chapter 507. Dandan accurately smashed into the face of the Empyrean Divine Guard. Ah! This Detian Divine Guard screamed miserably and retreated frantically. Lu Ming saw that the other party's face had been smashed into a pulp. His facial features were completely deformed and he was smashed into a lump. Even his head had almost exploded. If it weren't for the vitality of a low-tier king, an ordinary person would have died from such an injury. Shwa! Shwa! At this moment, the 9 low-tier king corpses had already arrived. The iron chains flew through the air, and some of them were aimed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming, run! I'll block them! Zhuanghong appeared in front of the 9 corpses and roared. Old Zhuang, let's go together! Lu Ming shouted. Let's go together! No one can escape. Run. We've been betrayed this time. Someone must escape and find the mastermind to avenge us. Zhuangheng roared. Boom. Immediately, the true yuan on Zhuangheng's body violently surged. This move again. Damn it. Get out of the way and kill the others. Damn it. Get out of the way. The corpse guards all roared. Lu Ming, find the mastermind and avenge us. This was Zhuangheng's last sentence. As soon as he finished speaking, a loud explosion resounded. Zhuangheng had self-detonated. The terrifying energy swept out in all directions, and the corpse guards all retreated. Whoosh! Amidst the violent energy waves, a storage ring flew toward Lu Ming. It was Zhuangheng's storage ring. Obviously, even if Zhuangheng died, he didn't want the Heavenly Corpse sect to benefit from it. Lu Ming reached out and grabbed Zhuangheng's storage ring. Die! The Heavenly Corpse sect must die. And the mastermind must die as well. I, Lu Ming, swear that I will avenge you. Lu Ming roared in his heart, and an intense killing intent burst forth. Zhuangheng, this straightforward man, had been drinking and eating meat with him not long ago. Now he had died a miserable death, and not even his bones were left. Lu Ming's killing intent soared to the heavens. Dandan! Lu Ming shouted again. Dandan was slightly shaken, and once again rushed out, smashing towards the zombie guard whose face had already been smashed. Bang! This time it was even worse. The zombie guard was almost smashed to death. Extreme Dao Strike. Lu Ming turned into a spear light and disappeared in a flash. The zombie guard didn't even have time to react before it was killed by Lu Ming. A small completion king had died just like that. With the death of this zombie guard, there were no more obstacles in front of Lu Ming. Lu Ming rushed over and devoured the man's blood essence. At the same time, he took the man's storage ring. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this moment, a few Empyrean divine guards also took the opportunity to rush out and run far away. Chase! Don't let any of them escape! A zombie guard roared. Nearly 100 zombie guards, along with the refined corpses, split into several groups and chased after the Empyrean divine guards. Die brat! There were also some zombie guards hiding behind the refined corpses and charging towards Lu Ming. Heavenly Corpse Sect. I'll remember this. Lu Ming said coldly, then turned around and stepped out. 9 Dragons Heaven Stomping Steps. Whoosh! After using the 9 Dragons Heaven Stomping Steps, Lu Ming's speed was too fast. No matter how the zombie guards chased, they couldn't catch up. Damn it! That brat escaped. A zombie guard shouted unwillingly. Let's chase after the others. We can't let more people escape. Then these zombie guards chased in other directions. Lu Ming's 9 Dragons Heaven Stomping Steps was terrifyingly fast. Not long after, Lu Ming appeared 100,000 miles away. Whoosh! He rushed into a forest with an extremely cold gaze. This time it was too miserable. Almost all of the 50 of them were wiped out. In the end, only a few of them managed to rush out. As for those few people, most of them were injured and might not be able to escape the Heavenly Corpse Sect's pursuit. Lu Ming had Dandan to thank this time. Otherwise, he might not have been able to break out of the encirclement. Also, with the 9 Dragons Heaven Stomping Steps extreme speed, he was able to successfully shake off the Heavenly Corpse Sect's pursuit. Heavenly Corpse Sect, this debt will be settled sooner or later. There's also the mastermind behind this. Who is the one who betrayed us? Is it the Sheng family? Lu Ming had many thoughts in his mind. At present, the Sheng family seemed to be the biggest suspect. After a while, Lu Ming appeared in the Temple of Paragon with a thought. Then he began to refine the essence blood. The zombie guard was a 4th-level martial king, a low-level martial king. Its essence blood was extremely rich. Lu Ming used all of it to improve the 9 Dragons bloodline. Unfortunately, after completely refining the essence blood, the 9 Dragons bloodline was still at the 6th level of the martial king realm. It seems that it's too difficult to reach the 7th level of the martial king realm. Lu Ming sighed. Until now, he had not seen anyone with a 7th level of the martial king realm bloodline, except for Xian Yanqing. Regardless of whether one was a genius or a monster, the 6th level of the martial king realm was the highest level. It seemed that there was a gap between the 6th and 7th level of the martial king realm. Lu Ming pondered for a while. Then, with a move of his finger, a few storage rings appeared in his palm. 2 of them belonged to the zombie guards killed by Lu Ming, and 1 belonged to Zhuang Hong. Elder Zhuang, I wonder if you have any relatives. When I return to the Eastern Branch Palace in the future, I will definitely give your storage ring to your relatives. Lu Ming moved his hand and put away Zhuang Hong's storage ring. Then he checked the storage rings of the 2 zombie guards. Of the 2 zombie guards, one was a 3rd-level Martial King, while the other was a 4th-level Martial King Realm low-level Martial King Realm. There were quite a lot of wealth in their storage rings. There were 5 or 6 secret manuals. One of them was about how to refine corpses. Lu Ming flipped through them casually and put them away. Lu Ming valued the top-grade spiritual crystals the most. There were a total of 180,000 of them in the 2 storage rings. This was not a small amount. As for the ultimacy crystals, there was not a single one. Lu Ming was slightly disappointed. After tidying up, Lu Ming waved his hand and 20,000 top-grade spiritual crystals floated in the air. Lu Ming wanted to continue improving his cultivation. His cultivation was still too weak. With Lu Ming's current strength, he could easily crush anyone in the Cloud Emperor mountain range. No one could survive a single attack from him. However, that was only the Cloud Emperor mountain range. It was not enough on a bigger stage like the entire Tianxian domain. For example, if Lu Ming's cultivation was at the low-level Martial King realm, Zhuang Hong and the others would not have died, and they would not have been wiped out. Strength was the most important thing. Furthermore, the Tianxian domain was only a small domain within the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace's sphere of influence. The Emperor Heaven Divine Palace was only one of the 4 strongest forces in the Eastern Wilderness. The Divine Wilderness continent was divided into the Central Continent, Eastern Wilderness, Southern Underworld, Western Desert, and Northern Plains. The Eastern Wilderness was only one of the 5 vast regions in the Divine Wilderness continent. Lu Ming's current location could only be considered a small part of the Divine Wilderness continent. Bang! 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 You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.